Good morning and welcome to Coaches and Coffee, episode lucky number 13. Good morning, Wizard and Professor.
Dan Marino sucks.
Yeah. Good morning, Wizard. Good morning, Hoffer.
Oh, wow. Wow. As I drink my coffee. By the way, no sponsors from last week. So for the
To
coffee.
be honest, the people that we communicate with, the level of their maturity and expertise and that kind of stuff, nobody's going to go out and buy you freaking Keurig cups. I mean, even the children that listen to this aren't going to go buy Keurig cups.
They might if they're Fruit Loop flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great start to the morning.
It's episode 13, man. We're lucky.
I know, man. Can't believe it, huh? That's we're into month 4 of this. Who would have thunk it? And we got more and more listeners now. This is pretty cool. It's fun. And my monologue today will be about our new segment starting hopefully next week.
Oh, nice. Hey, I got a question about monologues. Did you go to Juilliard by any chance, Max?
For what? Picking his toes? I mean,
well, no. I learned this the other day that when you audition for Juilliard, they require a monologue to be a minimum of 3.5 minutes, and they need 2 of them when you do your thing. And I was just wondering if that's where Mags got his standard for his monologues was at 3.5 minutes.
Oh no! I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not an actor of any sort. I came up with the idea because I started listening to podcasts, and that was a common theme, as they started with a monologue. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, I get that, but when you said it was going to be 30 to 60 seconds or something like that, and then all of a sudden all your monologues are around 3.5 minutes, I was just wondering if you got that from Juilliard.
No, can't say as I did.
All right. I'm just asking. I learned something new. You know how the Wizard teaches us something new? I learned something new the other day about Juilliard, and I was like, oh, that's where Mags get it. That's where he gets it from. And we've seen you on the sidelines sometimes. Sometimes you do this dancing. I think it's a jazz routine. So I was just wondering if maybe that's where you went.
Well, his moves are definitely not able to get him into Juilliard, so he better be able to play the hell out of some instrument other than something that's attached to his body.
Max Kira, his hips don't lie.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
Let's just throw it to the Wizard for his infinite wisdom this morning.
So it's funny. Yesterday I was all set with what I was going to speak of, and then we had to bring our puppy to his first vet visit to get his booster to his shots that he got. And I get there and I'm talking to the person that at the desk, and I look and there's a card for dog chiropractors, animal chiropractors. So it got me thinking, and I just for shits and giggles went and looked on YouTube, and there are tons of videos of men who are doing chiropractor things to young women who are absolute smoke shows. So I thought, wouldn't it be better to have the truck driver who's about 80 pounds overweight with sciatica and showing them fixing him versus some ballerina type fixing her? And I thought, well, maybe we ought to be a little lighthearted this morning. So that's what my monologue is about.
You know what? Professor's going to be searching for that truck driver on his phone soon.
Truck driver chiropractors.
I'm sure it's probably out there.
Yeah, for our listeners, the professor has to have one of the weirdest search histories in history. Search history in history, yeah.
That's because of all the stuff that you guys bring up on our long text message things, and I always have to find some response. So yeah, what I have done now is that just in case I were to pass away, I have to clear my history regularly so my wife doesn't go back and go, what? And I think truck driver chiropractors might make her go, what? My monologue is about because I think our goat debate today is going to be, I think it's going to come up, but mine is about draft shows. And I can't I can't understand when we got to the day that a draft show would be higher rated than the games that are being played as a result of the drafts. And I have never watched a draft show. I usually will look it up the next morning and see who got drafted. But here's even better. They watch the draft shows all the way to like the third or the fourth round. These are people that we don't even know who played. So my monologue about draft shows follows along with the Wizards monologue a couple weeks ago about get out and do something. Don't watch draft shows, please.
Yeah, they're longer and longer. You know, they start at noon and end at 10 o'clock at night. Like, who's got time for that?
And then go on to day two.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's just the first round, maybe first and second round.
Yeah, this all came off of because one of the women that I used to coach is now watching the live stream of the court case of the woman who drowned her children. And I'm like, there has to be other things to do. Go out and
Susan
take a hike.
Smith?
I don't even here's how bad it is, I don't know.
I think that you're talking about the woman who had the two kids and she drove the car into the lake.
No. I think
No.
This is one that's on trial right now, and she drowned her kids, and it's whether or not it was postpartum and whether her husband's involved. But yeah, anyway, with the things that we sometimes watch, and I have to say I am at fault because I did watch a whole lot of the OJ trial way back.
Yeah.
So,
I remember, because I was still in school back then, boys, but we all got out of class and came down to the library because it was the only place we had a television to watch the verdict. So that was, big back in our day.
I'm not even going to say a word there because I don't want to be.
yeah, I know, Wizard.
Yeah.
What's yours, Mags? Go ahead, Juilliard boy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I was just going to plant real quick that National Basketball Association Hall of Fame induction today. So that's the moment in history. But we're excited to bring together a new segment, hopefully starting next Saturday. Our three great minds came up with a way to look at addressing the questions about North Country coaches, and also, the history of the North Country by bringing on some current and former coaches, not just in the state of New Hampshire. We hope to expand it to Vermont and Maine as well. So you hear my dog?
I was going to say the dog is very excited about that, and since I think Megan is gone, you're not doing a very good job of holding that dog back.
You can hear my dog barking, I'm sure.
Yes, probably because she could hear our dog barking, but she'll be quiet eventually. Nope, maybe not. Just kidding. Anyways, so we're looking forward to a new series. Hopefully we can line up multiple people to come on and see what happens. But it was Professor's idea that started, and of course, because he's the thinker in the group, and we went.
You're laying the blame on me if it sucks, huh?
No blame at all. No, I think I'm excited. People get to listen to some other voice other than the three of us.
Hey, here's the coolest thing about it: if it sucks, we can blame the person that we bring on.
Yeah.
I'm sure that should really get people to want to say yes. Hey, you want to come on, and if it sucks, we can blame you? Yeah, sure, definitely. Bring me on. Yeah.
For you listeners, we'll try to give you a heads up on who might be coming on so that you can send in any questions that you might have for them, especially some of the parents of those coaches.
Yeah. Yes, we hope that. Yes, definitely the parents.
Are you legally blind?
I didn't say we were bringing on any officials.
Oh, okay.
We might.
My son was the greatest basketball. My son was the greatest basketball player in the history of Littleton. Why didn't he ever start?
Why didn't you ever play him?
It happens. It's all because we got favorites, guys. You know that.
I know. We should talk about that someday. I'm going to ask you guys anyway. Do you have favorites, and do you admit it to the kids?
Oh, I have favorites. The ones that show up every day and work their butt off. Those are my favorites.
Right, but like, you've coached for a long time. I mean, like Hall of Fame kind of time. Do you have like
Took
a
10 minutes.
list of your favorites? Like if I said, I mean, I know you're not going to say it right now, but if I said, what's your top 5 kids of all time, would you be able to do that?
Probably. It would be difficult, but yes, I could probably
What about
pull
you,
that.
Wizard?
I would have to say some of the people that I have come across through coaching, and especially players, a couple of them weren't even really good basketball players. They were just such great personalities,
Yeah.
And one, unfortunately, she's passed on now. She was a great one to talk history about, and I could never ask a history question in practice because she always blew me up because she was so good in history. So
That's saying something.
That is, absolutely.
yeah, and just a great personality. I mean, I really miss her. I had a lot of good visits with her even after she had graduated. So
Yeah, I think parents, I mean, I know as coaches, we can say that we do have favorites, but like Mag said at the start of that, like the kids that show up, they work really hard. They don't always have to be the best player to become your favorite. They just have to be that kid that's got like, hey, coach, I'm here. I'm ready to roll. And I might even be smarter than you, or at least I think I do.
yeah.
So.
You probably never had that issue though, Professor.
No, I've got one that thinks she is. She went up the road to Harvard, and she definitely thinks she is, but we've had to straighten that out a couple times in practice. When you run a bunch of suicides after a while, you remember that you're not as smart.
Yeah, you beat it out of them. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
That's good. Beat them into an oblivion.
What are we talking about today?
All right, so we're gonna go back. It's been probably a month and a half now since we had a officiating podcast. So we're gonna go to round 2 of a 12-round fight.
Let's not make it 12 rounds. Let's knock them out in the second round and call it good.
Okay, all right. Well, I know your disdain for officials, so but we've had a couple listeners post some questions about officials after the last episode, and so we wanted to come back around to it, and then go from there. So one of the questions, and I think we've hinted on it, or we've touched on it before, was our listener Fred had asked how the game officiating has changed to favor the offense. And I know we've all talked about, like, it hasn't really resulted in more offense, but how the defense is at a disadvantage. So whoever wants to run with that first.
Well, the Wizards got to run with this first because the two of you guys don't believe in defense. So I'm dying to hear what you two have to say.
I've always thought, I mean, if I know we've talked about shooting percentages and things of that nature, I'd much rather take a layup than an outside shot. But if, you can shoot an outside shot, well, we'll see how you do. But run the floor. But even still, I mean, you have games where there's a lid on the basket. So, shooting 35% in high school basketball in a game is pretty good. You think about it. And, I don't know how many games I could go back, I'm sure, and figure it out. We're in the 20 percentile range, and, you're taking 80 shots and you're making 20. It's ridiculous. So favoring the offense, I don't know. If you hold on to the ball too long, you're going to turn it over. So that was always my thought process. And I didn't worry about any officials or any rules of that. Just go out and play the damn game.
What do you think about like the rules though? Like I've got the rules that bother me that supposedly favor this offense, where I think your point is, how about you just make your shots? You're shooting 80 shots and 38 of them are layups and you're still only making 9. I think that's a coaching / whatever problem, not an officiating problem.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
But the problem I'm having with the officiating, the big ones for me, I mean, the 3-point we're not going to get around that. There's been talk about adding a 4-point line. That would be absolutely insane, at least not at the high school level yet. It used to be at that semi-pro league in Vermont.
That's true. Yep.
Is that the one that Will Ferrell owned a team in?
He might have.
Yeah. Okay.
But the Frost Heaves that used to play in Barrie, they had a 4-point line on the floor. I remember when my kids saw that, they're like, wow, we can shoot from there? I'm like, no, you can't shoot from there. The ones that we've talked about are the carry, the jump, stop, step, the travel, all of these things. I mean, I watch these clips. I love Instagram feeds when they show why LeBron sucks and why Michael was the best. And, LeBron takes 9 steps. Michael takes the normal amount that you're allowed. The old Shaq deals of banging in the post where you could, as an offensive player, you could hit the guy 9 times in the chest and it wouldn't be a call. And then that brings me to the block charge call. Nowadays, especially at college, and I have a really good friend who's a men's college official. And I was like, and he does some high school games. He was doing a final game last year in Vermont. And I'm like, you guys are making these kids sacrifice their lives to get a charge call.
Yeah.
How about we just officiate the game and stop officiating so that the offense can get more? That's my take.
Yeah, well, somebody once told me, that defense travels, and so no matter how good your offense is or isn't, like if you play defense, you got a good chance most nights. So the guy on here that thinks that the others don't believe in defense, one, he's incorrect.
Right.
No, I only say that because every time we guys talk about things that we have to coach, you guys are always like pass, shoot, dribble.
Yeah.
And every freaking time, what do I say? What about defense?
Well,
and the two of you are like, yeah, okay, whatever.
No, that's because we were conforming to the new rules. It was like defense didn't matter. So we need to get them to be able to do offensive stuff, and like the Wizard said, you hold on to it too long, you're going to turn it over. So you better take a shot. No, I think the last one you brought up, and by no means will I ever be an official. I think that the block charge has become, partially because of how it's officiated, the hardest call that officials make. And you don't honestly know, like when the whistle blows, what it's going to be. But I bet if we did, and probably, Professor, you've done this, I bet you if we took 10 clips of a block charge, 9 out of 10 times it's called a block.
It's more than that.
I just was trying to use whole numbers,
Yeah.
So I think where it's difficult for us sometimes as coaches is we teach, getting your body in front of the ball, being in a legal guarding position. We always talk about show hands so that they can't call you for a hand check. And then the one that I have never understood is a kid comes driving into the lane, and we've all had some pretty good sized post players who hold their ground. The guard that's coming in hits them and falls to the ground, and it's called a block. And it's like, why is that a block? Like, what did our girl do other than just stand there? So you almost, to your point, you almost have to take your life in your own hands, sell it, which none of us teach
ridiculous.
None of us teach it that way, and almost get hurt. Like, I mean, we've done drills before of trying to teach kids how to take a charge and fall properly so they don't get hurt. But it's almost not worth it. Like, it's not worth teaching that, because they're just not. I mean, yeah, a couple kids are still going to do it no matter what, but not many people are going to sacrifice themselves anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I never had any drills where I taught how to take a charge because it just didn't seem worth it. You had players who knew how to do it and were athletic enough to get themselves square and in position. And then sometimes, you had your bigs who ran the floor and could get themselves into position and square their shoulders and hips, and they still don't get the call. I think it all comes down to a matter of consistency and how the rules and the people who are refereeing the game make the judgment? And is there any consistency in how they're taught what to look for? I don't know if they do that. I don't know if they have drills where they go through and they teach it, or how they look at it. So, I mean, maybe that would be a place to start. Not sure.
I can answer that. I mean, when I was officiating, we would review clips all the time, and then we'd break them down. And here's the problem that I have with the block charge is that at the college level now, I mean, the men's official that I know, they're essentially told that if it's even close, go block. And they've made these rules. They've got the restricting circle down below where you can't take a charge in that. It's an automatic block if you're, within 6 feet under the hoop, or 8 feet, whatever it is. I can't remember. And the women's college officials that I know are, of that, we're supposed to call the charge. But again, if it's close, and when I grew up, it used to be the other way. If it's close, it goes to the defense. And I think at the high school level, we're still supposed to allow this movement of the defensive player as long as it's, and you can't see me air quote, obliquely. So if you're moving in the direction of the ball and you take the contact, that's on the offense. But that is not the case at the college level. And at the pro level, I mean, they just don't call it. There's no such thing as a charge.
No, they use that restricted circle 99% of the time to bail them out, and
even if they're within 3 feet of it.
Yeah. It's like, no, they were in the circle. It's got to be a block. And I get it. The game is fast, not necessarily always at the high school level. But to Fred's question, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting our listeners' names correct. Like you see an offensive player, and I love it. I mean, we have like one of the best photographers ever that capture action shots for our kids and then post. And you go back and you look at some of the action shots and you see the hand of the offensive player, like on the defensive player's, thigh or stomach, whatever, like to create space. And, that's obviously not called consistently. But as soon as a defensive player puts a hand on the offensive player and they don't take it away right away, like, hand check, that's the rule. It should be called that way. But I think those are one of the things that have changed, and offensive players have gotten craftier, at how to create space. And I think, kids watching the college and the pro level, almost taking a charge now is like, putting a kid on a pedestal, or putting a player on a pedestal that, like, holy crap, they did it, and I can remember back in the day, taking charges was fun. Like it was like a momentum changer or whatever, in a close game or something like that. And I know there's plenty more rules that we can go into, but I still think that's the most difficult call, that as coaches we sometimes get frustrated because we see it a different way. And I'm not an official, so I guess they're always right, Professor, huh?
Unless I'm coaching.
Yeah, that's right. I knew you were going to say that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the other thing that we could talk about is like some of the craziest calls we've ever been a part of. But if you got something more on that, go ahead.
No, you said about, a charge and getting put on a pedestal and how hard it is to officiate that call. You know what? You have to officiate it, right? I mean, you're going to have to make a call at one point or the other. And we're taught, and the better officials do it, to officiate the defense first. See if they've gotten there. See if they're moving in the direction of the ball. But I got to tell you, I watch too many officials, and I've been accused of it too, especially when I was doing it earlier in my career. You watch the ball too much. You actually have to watch the defense if you're ever going to make the call. And I don't think that we do a very good job of teaching that. And I don't think officials do a very good job of doing that.
Again, I'm going to go back to the consistency thing. If you have one really good official and you have some other subpar, whether you're doing a 2-man or a 3-man crew, and that one official is trying to carry his partner or partners. It's very difficult to get any real consistency when you have that happening.
Yeah.
Oh, agree. I think we've both been a part of it where we generally only see a 2-man crew. You sometimes have a really strong official and you have a younger or a older official as the other and might not necessarily move as well, and get up and down the floor, to say it politically correct. And so that other, official has, and you can tell as a coach that, sometimes they're making calls that are definitely not in their area, but they're making the right call. And I think people have said for years, like, what do you want an official to be? And I said consistent. Like if it's a foul in the first quarter, it's got to be a foul in a tie game in the last minute of the game. You can't change it. And I've seen this in soccer more so than in basketball, but in an overtime game or a tie game in the playoffs and a kid comes and slide tackles a kid from behind in the box and the official does not have the gonads to blow the whistle and give a PK because they don't want the game to end that way. Well, that's not your call. What is the
Or they'll
rule?
blow the whistle and they'll put the ball outside of the zone.
Oh, that
Yeah,
too.
foot outside.
Yeah.
That's
That's always a
irritating
good
as shit.
cop out.
Yeah.
But it's just like the rules are the rules. Enforce them regardless of what the score or the time in the game is. And I've had officials come up, we probably all have, like, in blowout games, they stop calling some travels on the other team.
Sure.
Perfectly fine with that, like, because we don't want to be here all night.
Right.
And if I ever argued something like that, like I should be, shot,
You argued that. I definitely remember you arguing that.
in a competitive game, probably,
No,
absolutely.
I'm just saying you argued that.
Yeah.
Somebody's got Wizard. You got to go down and shoot him.
He's got to bring his shotgun.
Yeah. I could actually help you out with that.
Go ahead.
We're not going to do I think we're not going to have enough time to do replays and electronics, right? But those, we won't go into that. But that's one of the biggest problems you were talking about, like World Cup and soccer and stuff like that. Now the officials don't even have to have the NADs to call it because they don't call it and then they just go to replay.
Yeah.
And that's really bothering me. That's taking all of it away from the officials. Like, you already didn't have the nuts to make a hard call, but now you don't have to make a hard call.
Yeah. But if that ever came to high school sports, you don't mandate something that you're not going to subsidize and train officials on, because the small schools, I mean, if we were D2, we could afford all that stuff, but not being D2, we would have to have somebody will it to us, for God's sakes.
Oh my goodness, listen to you.
Well, I mean, we're the electronics thing is just, so we're fortunate enough to have people who videotape games once in a while. But I mean, times I've watched a game and the person on the camera is watching the game and the camera's not turning with them. So, I mean, it's not like we're so horrifically professional that we have NBC coming in with the trucks and everything. So that's in college, I can understand them being able to do that. Colleges rape our children for money, forcing them to pay for something that doesn't amount to a piss hole in the snow. But,
Monologue.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, and so to even discuss it at the high school level you're right, it's a moot point.
I didn't mean to go the electronic route because I know we don't have enough time to do it, because there's a lot of great conversation, but that'll be round 3.
Yeah, it will be. And all I'll say, without going into it, is like part of the game has always been human error, whether it's a player, it's a coach, and it's official. And at the highest levels, like you just talked about, Professor, they're making it error free, and that's never. I don't think that was ever obviously all the founding people of the sports that they invented or whatever. They weren't thinking about videos and replays and so forth. But yeah, you just can't you're taking some of the human part of it out of it, and that's unfortunate. But
Yep. Yep.
we digress.
Are we going to hit crazy call? We got enough
Yeah,
time for that.
I mean,
We each
I
get a
don't know what
crazy
you're going to
call.
pick, but yeah, I mean, I'll start it. So this wasn't actually as a varsity coach. This was as a at a JV end of season tournament in the professor's hometown, and we were my assistant at the time, not current assistant and not that, but my first assistant coach that I had. She was 8.5 months pregnant, and one of our kids had gone in, got a rebound or whatever, and I think it was, professor wasn't coaching, but I think it was from his team that he did coach. Basically put the saddle on and rode our girl to the ground. And
Your girl was probably holding, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyways, like she hurt her neck or whatever. And so, she stayed down on the floor, and it was just an instinct for me. Like my assistant coach is 8.5 months pregnant. I'm on the bench with her. So I just get up to walk out because they called the coach out, and like, what was she going to do? Pick her up? Like, probably not. So I get teed up for leaving the bench area as an assistant coach in a JV game. And I remember my assistant at the time, like, what the hell you want me to do? Like, can't you tell that I couldn't pick her up if I wanted to, And they didn't care. And I'm like, oh, well, whatever. So yeah, that was one of the, I've only received 2 technicals in my life. Both were at when I was a JV coach. And then that one, and I've never forget that one. And then that same official, I think it was the next season, or maybe it was a summer league game or something like that, came out because, I probably shouldn't have done that. No, you think, but so.
It's the difference, Mags, in being an official and being a really good official. And that difference is knowing when to not use the rule book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Go ahead, Wizard.
I really have thought about it. I had no real incident or call that I can remember. I mean, I guess I would refer to the one call that may or may not have been against your team in my gym when there was a foul called when there was no time left on the clock. And, I still giggle about it because, I mean, really, when it came down to it, everybody was they were all distraught about it. And it's like, it's a call. What are you going to do?
Right.
Didn't win or lose you the game. You put yourself in that position. So that was the one I remembered.
I think it was well after the whistle too, but I mean, well after the horn, sorry.
Yeah, it was, but that's okay.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the replay on that, and I'm just going to not say anything about it.
See, there's those electronic things again. You can go back. Like, look at that. I love the one thing on that there. I love it when like fans like start pointing at the cameras like that are doing our game. Like, no, the officials can't use that. Like, you can point at that all you want. Like, go to the camera. No, they don't go to the camera. Like,
no.
I did look that up, but we'll talk about that on electronics. In some states, you can use replay, but only in very specific situations.
Gotcha.
And mine, right, Mags?
Oh, I got timeout.
Timeout. I've got another one. I got my team got 6 technicals in one JV game when I was the JV coach for Kolb back in the day. Because the home scorekeeper didn't copy my book. He copied it off of some pamphlet from the previous year. So all my kids' numbers were wrong. And this is back in the day when you could assess a technical for each wrong player on the court. So he gave 5, and then I went out and argued and showed him why it was screwed up, and then he gave me one too. And then I asked him if I got a second one, if I wasn't going to be able to coach my varsity girls game the next day, or if it only meant that I wasn't going to be able to coach JV anymore. But no, mine is against Mags's team, down by 4 with 13 seconds or something like that to go. I try to call a timeout, and I finally get the timeout from the official across the floor 10 seconds later. And the reason is because the other official didn't think I had any timeouts left. And
why? He should have just teed you up.
That was what I tried to point out as I was making him cry.
As they went down into the basement and they beat it out of him.
Well, it was kind of funny because you did that to us one time. You called a timeout and you had I don't know who it was on my bench, said he doesn't have any timeouts left. I was like, shut up.
Well, I knew that though, but you guys would have just let the clock run out.
He knows what he's doing.
Yes.
We'll take the shots.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, my other option in that case, Wizard, was to not do anything and let you guys run the timeout.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1-point game at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. No.
Shut up.
Yep. So yeah, those are the classic calls where you kind of go, I can't believe I saw this or it happened. But my favorite part about the end of that game, Mags, and you probably remember it, we're down by 4. We've now got 3 seconds. They've pretty much screwed me out of any opportunity to get a quick bucket and foul you guys.
Oh yeah.
And I said, inbound it and throw yourself on the floor from the 3-point line when you shoot it. We're going to get the call.
Oh yeah. You did.
We did. Unfortunately, she made like 1 or 2 of them, and you guys ran the clock out, and it was over. But
yeah, no, I think you called that timeout for about 30 seconds before you finally got it, and it's probably the most animated I'd ever seen you on the sideline. I think you were at one point. I think you were inside the 3-point arc, like pulling on the official's jersey, saying, "I want a timeout." And I'm standing with my assistant. I'm like, are they going to give him a timeout or what? Like, I knew you had timeouts. That's irrelevant. Like, you have to assess a timeout if a coach requests it, and obviously not if the other team has the ball.
Right.
If you have possession of the ball or it's a dead ball, like, you have to assess it. And as you did against the Wizard, if you don't have any, it's a technical foul. But guess what? The clock stops.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not ashamed of saying this until they just changed it, where if you run out of if you score and you don't have any timeouts, I mean, you can call a timeout, but I used to teach our kids, like, bat the ball away after it goes through the hoop and force a delay a game. Like, especially if we haven't used, well, generally nobody ever uses one, and they were like, why? I said, because it's going to blow the whistle, which is going to cause the clock to stop, and then we can get into our press. Otherwise, the ball can just bounce out of bounds for 5 seconds and the game's over.
Right.
So, I used to teach that, and now it's at the official's discretion.
Yeah.
And it's also could be called the technical, but no one has the balls to call that.
Yep. So now, just like holding on rebounding, I've had to go back and adjust.
Adjust the way you coach?
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get into the GOAT debate, and we've got to hurry up on this, I've got a question.
We're waiting.
Have you guys watched The Voice, the show?
No.
Nope.
Okay, well, on it, they're allowed to steal a player by pressing the button early, and last week I did that to you, Mags. I stole it. Right, like I stole the GOAT debate ahead of you.
Oh, okay.
But also on The Voice, you're allowed to block a GOAT debate, and I am right now blocking yours, Mags.
Why?
Because I know what it's going to be, and it's my least favorite moment in sports history.
No, it's not the least favorite.
It's my least favorite.
Oh, okay.
So I'm blocking that. You can't use the one that you're going to use. And I haven't talked to you yet about this, but I'm not allowing yours to be used.
Oh, you're definitely not going to use the one that I have. So anything else before we go?
No. I don't want to steal yours. I want to block it. I want you not to be allowed to use it.
Do you want to go first then?
No, I don't want you to be able to go.
Well, that's kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like,
I know, but yours is going to suck, and I don't want to hear about it.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna, but anyway.
Okay. Well, maybe you're going to surprise me. Okay.
All right. Well, so anything else before we go to the GOAT debate?
No, I don't want to hear yours, I don't think.
Okay. Well, at least the Wizard wants to listen.
Yeah, I want to listen.
Maybe. All right. So on to the GOAT debate. This week's GOAT debate is our best memory, whether in person or live, in our lifetime. So for me, that's the last 10 years probably, of a sporting event. And I don't think I'm going to steal the professor's, but if I do.
It's not steal. I just don't want you to do yours.
Okay, well.
I think the wizard maybe even knows what I think it's going to be. We'll see. Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
It's not going to be Christian Leitner's shot
okay.
in 1992.
Okay.
So that was a good, and I was watching that game live.
That's what I thought it was going to be too.
No,
That's why I didn't want to hear it.
That's right.
And you're not gonna. That's it. I mean, it was a hell of a shot, hell of a play. Great.
You're talking about it. We're not talking about it.
Great pass, Grant Hill. One of my all-time favorite players. Anyways, now that we've dragged that out, my greatest memory, obviously not in person because as we've talked about, it's way too expensive to go to professional sporting events, but it's the Red Sox of 2004.
Don't want to hear that one either.
Well, it's too bad. You're going to hear it. So, the year before, heartbreak, Tim Wakefield, may he rest in peace, gives up the game 7, extra innings homer to Aaron effing Boone. And then the next year they're down 3-0 to the Yankees. And I'll never forget the video clip before Kevin Millar, who's just a beast, but he just said, "Don't let us win one." And they let him win one, probably the most famous steal of all time with Dave Roberts off Rivera. And the rest is history. Still the only team to come back down 3-0 in baseball and go on to win the first World Series in 86 years. So that's mine. Wizard?
Well, seeing as how I have a little longer in the tooth than you are.
You can't go back to Jesse Owens. You weren't allowed that.
No, I'm not going to talk about Jesse Owens. I am, and I'm not hoping I'm not stealing yours, but mine is the 1980 hockey team.
Yep.
I can remember being a little boy and watching the Olympics. I used to watch the show on ABC on Saturday all the time, and I used to marvel at that poor guy who was jumping off the ski jump and absolutely thrashed himself.
Wide world of sports.
Yeah, but I mean, he just got destroyed when he wrecked. But that hockey team definitely made America stand up and say, "Come get some." We were not supposed to even be in the same league with that Russian juggernaut, and we beat them. So mine is the 1980 men's hockey team.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
In my notes,
I'm blocking it.
I have, if Mags brings up effing Leitner or effing Red Sox, this is in my notes. Talk about Brady versus Atlanta. But
you were going to do that anyways.
I'm not going to do that one.
Oh.
I had a hard time with this one, and I just want to say Fred is now going to like you more, Mags, than me, because he is a monster Red Sox fan, and we have gone through some long times of harassing each other about that. But 2004 was the year I never came out of hiding. I remember in the early 80s watching Hearns versus Hagler and went, wow, that was the best. YouTube that. 3 rounds of boxing was incredible. But mine came down to Jeter's flip. I've never seen anybody in baseball make that weird of a play and YouTube that because I'm not going to get into it. But mine is the Hale Flutie. They combined, those two quarterbacks, Kozar and Flutie, combined for like 920 yards in that game. Flutie was 6 seconds to go, rolls out to the right, throws a 47-yard bomb to Phelan, who catches it for the win. First quarterback to go over 10,000 yards. And man, I remember because I was in a cast at my grandparents' house watching that game and almost rebroke my leg jumping around. So what a memory.
You said Kozar?
It was Kozar, right?
No, it was Testaverde, weren't it?
No, I think it was Kozar.
Ooh, now we got another debate. I like it.
I got it. I got to look that up.
I can't really comment. I mean, I do remember seeing the replay of the Flutie.
I thought it was Testaverde. Kozar was
No, it was Kozar.
Okay.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Kozar passed for 447 yards. Flutie goes over with that pass to 472 yards.
Huh.
It was against Miami, right?
It was against Miami,
Yeah.
and that was when Jimmy Johnson was coaching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still remember. I can still that rollout of his is still stuck in my mind. I see it when I close my eyes, which is better than seeing some of the freaking officials we've had.
Made him some money in the CFL, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he went to the USFL, right?
Yeah, I don't think he did well. Then I think he played in the CFL, and then he came to the NFL.
He played for the Pats a little bit.
Yeah. He was the one that did the drop kick 2-point, right?
Flutie did that?
I'm pretty sure.
I've got one memory. Let's not try to taint it with a whole bunch of others right now.
Well, no, I mean that was brilliant. But anyways, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up.
But please, listeners out there, I mean, this is one of those ones that it's a hard goat debate. We're not like last week. Wizard was wrong, and we proved that. But this week, it's impossible to actually debate it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't pick the 1980. I mean, yes, I've watched.
That was amazing.
I was 2, so I can't really say I watched that. You guys were, almost teenagers by then, or probably were teenagers by then.
So, I was 11.
Okay, so not quite. Well, yeah, the GOAT debate was definitely a challenge, even for a young lad like myself, because there were so many great memories, and no, there was no Dolphins memories. And I just want to put this on the podcast. The Dolphins are picked to go 2-15 this year. Thank you very much. Both wins are going to be against the Patriots. So.
I usually try to pay some, ode to my dad and everything. And he always used to say to me, just set the bar as low as you possibly can. And we just won't be disappointed if you get over it a little bit.
It's funny you say that. I had certain sporting reporters who would do their preseason crap about high school basketball. And I would always say, I hope to be 8-8 and host a playoff game.
You still hope to be 8-8.
I hope we at least are 500 and host a playoff game.
Yeah. That was one of your best lines ever, though.
Yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to say? Prognosticate high school basketball? Give me a break.
Yeah. You wanted to win half your games by 50 and the other half by 25.
Right. Yeah. I do have evidence here of the year that you went undefeated, Mags, of you telling the two of us that you were going to be lucky to make it to 500. So I'm just,
Right. But I think he was just being a dick. I mean, how many times do we talk to him and when we're shitting on him prior to the season, and he's, oh well, he's kind of like excuse me, he's kind of like Eeyore, oh poo,
yeah. It's going to be a hard year again. I only returned 5 starters, and my assistant coach only had 3 more children.
She's going to love that if she listens to this.
My tail fell off again.
She is an awesome human being. I mean, almost as awesome as Megan. Yeah. But every championship you have, you need to go back and give to her.
Yes.
There's something about that last name. Every championship we've won, there's been a player with that last name on the team. So
I know. That's why I say she is. I wish I had her as my assistant coach.
Could have had I don't know what, an influx of more players.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. We love you though.
Yes, we do. Very much so.
Yeah, we'll see what this year entails,
Oh yeah, while we're doing it real quick because I got to go to work. What's your prediction for this year, Mags?
Oh no, we don't make predictions in August. We haven't even rolled the ball out yet and just seen.
Oh please.
Did you already put your summer championship banner up for the?
No. Since Professor retired, he doesn't make them anymore.
Oh.
But we've got plenty of those babies hanging. from all the years that we used to destroy Professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a serious question to kind of end this all on, but Summer League, is it still going as well as it has, Mags, or is it kind of falling apart?
You are very correct on the last part of it falling apart. This was probably the hardest summer locally to find, games, scrimmages to just play, because so few teams are, one, either not enough kids or just not enough commitment from kids.
Duck said the same thing.
Yeah, the league that we used to be a part of together, I mean, we know that fizzled out for the right reasons, because God, we were it was fun, but we were traveling everywhere.
Right.
So we kind of did some low key stuff with some of those schools, mainly in Vermont. But even this year, there was no consistency with that. It's really, it's tough because, we always, preach that, teams are made in the off season, not during the season. And you're really challenging to find games without traveling, 2 hours away. So it's,
I brought it up only because I'm hearing that from a lot of coaches, like 3 summer league games this summer, and you and I used to play, you'd play 2 on a night, you'd play twice a week, and you'd play 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then go to NHTI or
right. some team camps and
Yeah. No, I think the year after we won the championship, like the kids were obviously gung ho, like we want to play. We ended up playing like 33 games in the summer, and then last year it was like, no, we don't want to do that again. And I didn't blame them. Like, it was a lot. But now if you can get, a half a dozen, like, you're lucky.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry, I didn't mean to get us into the 50-minute mark, but
that's all right.
Oh, you got us over the 50-minute mark. That was well done. I mean, you're the only one probably working today, so.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go. Let's get Wizards sign off. Yeah. Let's get out of here, and please edit it correctly today.
Yeah, my apologies to the listeners last week if you heard the professor drop a profanity. I know we do drop plenty on here, but the editing guy was not very good.
Yeah. Well,
typical.
With that, good night, John Boy.
That's a good one.
Well,
F. Leitner.
Yep. Well, sorry to disappoint, but Duke is still the best, and
they proved that the last 10 years.
Yeah. Anyways, what do you mean? They've figured out how to lose a game in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, Christ!
Pretty consistent.
There you go.
Anyways,
make sure those nails are sharp and clean where you put yourself up on that cross.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say that I was putting myself on any cross, and I'm going to need you guys to nail me there. So, yeah. All right. Well, signing off this week's episode of Coaches and Coffee. Until next week.
See ya.
No swearing, boys.